Federal inmate housing, we've had a lot of talk about that. After the loss of ICE, we've been struggling to get that number to a realistic number because it's not on our budget realistic. We had a conversation about U.S. Marshals service and that contract last time. Since that meeting, I've had a conversation with the district U.S. Marshal. So I see an immediate, a very easy $21 per person increase in the very near future, but that's without any negotiating. So I told her that I like to negotiate. So hopefully we get that higher. All right.
U.S. Marshals contract, assuming you get $21 more, what will that do to the deficit that you're showing?
Well, I don't have a number for you because that's a brand new phone call that we just had. So we haven't even had a chance to put those numbers together. I don't think it will be substantial. That's why I said I'm not really happy with that number either, because we've been at a vast deficit for a lot of years. So I was clear.
So at our last meeting, when you reported that you might break even if you boosted that up to, what was it, 120?
I was told.
Is that contract worth doing?
What's that, sir?
Is that contract worth doing if, obviously, the 21 would not get to $121, that'd still be under 100.
Right.
Is that contract financially worth doing?
Yeah, please.
I've started working on the cost analysis that was requested at that last meeting. It became very clear, very quickly, that I'm going to need to involve finance in trying to figure out what the actual decrease in expenses will be should we get rid of that revenue line. Because some expenses will not go away with the marshals. So we have to kind of calculate how that's going to affect it. We already know that if we cut that contract, we'll be losing the 1.3 million in revenue, but what expenses are going to be decreased with that loss is a little complicated. So I've got to sit with Patty and Barton on it.
And when do you think that will be a known figure?
Yeah.
So in terms of the contract, it has to go through the Washington D.C. for us to get approved. So the previous times that we've opened up conversations, they were a hard no on giving us any increase. So this conversation that the sheriff had for the increase of 21 extra dollars a day per U.S. Marshal inmate is interesting, to say the least. That they have some wiggle room now, but to answer your question, monetarily, budgetary wise, that's a huge hit. We did this already with ICE, right? When we had to rip that Band-Aid off, we had to lay people off or cut those positions, right? But overall, for the mental health and the overall good of the detentions employee, it's 100% worth not having that contract.